Here we are. It's the last week of July, Monday the 29th. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches, and it is great to have you back here. Thanks so much for stopping on by. It is wonderful to see you. It was wonderful to see so many of you come on out to the Dubliner in West Portal for Pluce Mania 4. Really, it's just an awesome time. Thanks to everyone who came out. Came out and in throughout the day. It was great to be there. My wife had to come fish me out at around 5:30, a little earlier than I thought I was going to have my chain pulled back home. But look, it was great to see everybody. We got Chef A making the incredibly tasty just bark. I don't know what you call it. This is like a toffee bark chocolate just orgasm. It's incredible. Thanks to Chef A for the chocolate orgasm. Thanks to Irwin, who was not messing around, just brought a big old bottle of Michter's bourbon. I mean, come on. When people are bringing you chocolates and bottles of booze, you're having yourself a really, really good day. So thanks to everyone who came out. Thanks to our good friend Larry Kruger, who was down at 49er training camp. And I hope you like and subscribe to today's show, because hit notify as well, and you won't miss anything. Larry and I might wrap back around this evening for a little wake up after dark, because we couldn't do it today because he was going down to training camp. But man, it was really good to see so many of you. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for the support of this channel. For those of you who made it, really appreciate it. For those of you who are already in the chat today saying, Damon, I wish I could have made it, couldn't make it, no problem. We'll see you at the next one, I hope. But thanks to everyone, and especially our good friends at The Dubliner. Gave me a fancy new t-shirt. He said, extra large or double X? I said, take a look at me. I'm going to need a double X. If I'm going to be the world's fattest spokesmodel, I at least got to look decent in the t-shirt. So there you go. Thanks to the Dubliner in West Portal. Love the t-shirt. Love the crowd. Loved being there with you yesterday. Let's talk some sports, because this is a King Kong quarterback market that we're looking at right now. Timing and talent is getting dudes paid like never before. And even if the talent might be questionable, the timing for some is impeccable. This will apply to Brock Purdy, because a lot of people still like to question what he is, what he will be. Tua Tagovailoa is a guy who is, a little bit in the same situation. He's pretty damn good at what he does, but is he so good he should be paid among the top tier quarterbacks? Are the Miami Dolphins fooling themselves into thinking they got a franchise quarterback when they just got a quarterback? What's the deal? Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, they were wondering what his value was, and they finally reached his value. It is a 4-year, $212.4 million extension for the Miami Dolphins quarterback. And right after that, Jordan Love decided to blow everyone away with a 4-year, $220 million deal with the Packers. If you are a young quarterback at the end of your rookie deal right now, timing is great. The timing is great. Going back to the timing on Brandon Ayuk and how it hasn't worked out for him, had Brandon Ayuk been up for, what he wanted to be, this extension a few years ago, the price point would have probably been reduced to the point where the 49ers would have gone ahead and gotten a deal done. The market explodes, and you'd think that would be good timing. Unfortunately for Brandon Ayuk, it hasn't been the best timing. Timing's worked out well for others, though. The timing of Trent Williams' contract extension, again, it's only a matter of time before that gets done, because it's easy to sort of envision what you're looking at. In terms of the 49ers without Brandon Ayuk, it's impossible to envision the 49ers without Trent Williams. They need that guy. There's no one who can duplicate what he does. But we're talking quarterbacks. And again, the highest paid quarterbacks in football are guys who have, only looked at the Lombardi Trophy. They've never actually touched it. A couple have gotten close. Jordan Love is now tied with Joe Burrow, who has at least, played for a Super Bowl. And Trevor Lawrence, who, by the way, has, a better head of hair than he's had a career so far. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and Jordan Love are now your highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. annual average value. There's basically 3 different ways to evaluate quarterback play, or quarterback pay, I should say. There's a million different ways to evaluate quarterback play. Pay comes down to 3 things: annual average value, total value of the entire deal, guaranteed money. Those are the 3 topics of quarterback, who gets paid what. You know, where do you want to be on that list? Do you want to be number 1 over here, over here, over here? Because you can't be number 1 across all 3, basically. And you just look at how the quarterback dollars are exploding. Jalen Hurts, $51 million annual average value. He agreed to that. Lamar Jackson, $52 million annual average value. Justin Herbert, $52.5 annual average value. These guys all held the title of highest paid quarterback in football for about 5 minutes before it became the next guy up and the next guy up and the next. And it's just about timing. It's just about timing. I am old enough to remember this old timer named Patrick Mahomes. You might have heard of him. He's a 3-time Super Bowl MVP, and he signed a 10-year, $450 million contract back in 2020, which seems like a million years ago now. So that deal, at the moment he signed it, stopped the NFL world to a screeching halt, and everyone was like, oh my God, this guy just basically got a $500 million contract. The annual average for Patrick Mahomes, it got restructured, but he is still the 11th best paid quarterback in football because of all these guys with their talent and their perfect timing hitting the quarterback market. It's crazy to think that there would be 10 dudes at the same position making more money than Patrick Mahomes. And I saw today on ESPN, there's a story about how, people are asking him, Patrick, are you worried about your contract? He's like, no, I'm making an awful lot of money. I am really good. Everything's good. Everything's good. Guys jumping ahead of me obviously isn't going to affect him. He is just focused, eyes on the prize of trying to three-peat. And Patrick Mahomes isn't going to let anything stupid like money stand in the way of his happiness when he has a bigger scoop of money than most small countries will ever get to see. So I love the maturity there from Mahomes, and no demanding that he be restructured or have pay that is commiserate with his standing in the league as QB1. He is not saying I got to make more money than Joe Burrow, and he certainly deserves it, but he's not saying that. It's amazing. Burrow, Lance, Tua, Goff, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, and Kirk Cousins will make more money annual average value than Patrick Mahomes. Isn't that nuts? It's a little nuts. It really is. So this brings us to Brock Purdy. Because life is timing, and this young man's life is about to run into the best bit of timing he is ever going to see. Part of me wants everyone to kind of live in the now and just enjoy the moment, but you cannot help but look at the 49ers and just ignore the massive raise that Brock Purdy is going to get. It's going to be gargantuan. Gargantuan. Probably the biggest year-over-year raise any athlete's ever received in the history of American sports. To go from about $1 million to 65 million, and that number is now not out of the question. When you're looking at what guys are signing for today, Brock Purdy is one really good year of football away from the highest paid quarterback in the history of the sport. Not bad for the last pick in the draft. Now, whether you think he is worth it or not doesn't matter, because the market will decide what he is worth. No one's opinion, no sports writer, no coach. The market will determine what Brock Purdy is truly worth. And right now, when you just look at every 5 months, the highest paid quarterback in football is making $5 million more than the last guy to have won that title. We see where this is going with Brock Purdy. In 2024, the Niners will enjoy, this is a column from Bill Barnwell on ESPN. In 2024, the Niners will enjoy a third and likely final season of the biggest bargain in sports. Brock Purdy signed his first deal for 4 years, $3.7 million. $3.7 million. That's nothing. for a quarterback. That's what you pay a backup quarterback. He was guaranteed $77,000. He was guaranteed $77,000. Like, that's what the Pluce made in his first year. I mean, like, not quite, but we were close. We were in that neighborhood. We'll get better than that neighborhood this upcoming season, but that's just that's nothing money. He was guaranteed roughly 0.2% of what number 1 overall pick Trayvon Walker was assured when the Jaguars signed him. Since then, Purdy has emerged as one of the league's most productive quarterbacks. He's gone 17-4 as a starter in the regular season with a 71.4 quarterback rating over the last 2 seasons. The only passers to top that mark since the start of 2022 were Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Brock Purdy has led the 49ers to 2 deep playoff runs, one ended by a torn elbow, the other by Patrick Mahomes in Las Vegas just a few months ago. The only quarterback to win more playoff games than Purdy's 4 over his first 2 years is Ben Roethlisberger, and that's because Big Ben won the damn Super Bowl. So this guy is about to, seriously, have a potential raise of about $60 million. Timing and talent, it's what you need in life. That gets you paid. Now, Bill Barnwell goes on to think of, the 49ers are built with so much talent everywhere around Purdy because of Purdy's bargain deal that won't be going forward. That will not be the way that this world works for Brock Purdy going forward because they're not going to be able to keep the talent around him when they pay him like that. And Bill Barnwell says, so one of the paths is re-signing Purdy and making cutbacks elsewhere. The other path, virtually no team is going to be willing to consider in the modern game, would be keeping all the playmakers and just restarting with another quarterback on a rookie deal. Like, there's no way. There's no way that happens, but that is a possibility. As infinitesimal as it might be. And it's a fascinating thing to watch. And again, in your life, like, you could work really hard to become as smart as you are, as successful as you are, as experienced as you are, and timing will probably have more to do with your level of financial success than all of those other 3 things. I mean, it's certainly that way in sports. For the rest of us, there's a little truth to it, too. So, look, it is wonderful having you here today. We want you to have the right lunch when it comes to lunch time. And that brings me back to my man, Ike. He was unable to join us at Pluce Mania for the first time. He has always been there, but he wasn't able to do it. The man is a hard-working man making sandwiches for you at now over 100 locations in the Ike's ever-expanding empire. I can't wait for the day where I can say, the sun never sets on the Ike's empire. He's going to have to get international for that to happen. Not out of the question in my mind, because that's how good the sandwich is. Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. Anything that you could think you could put on a sandwich and have it be delicious, Ike's got it for you. Trust me on that. Download the app. Start ordering off of the app, whether it's delivery or pickup. You earn your way towards free sandwiches, and you're going to want as many free sandwiches in your life as you can get out of my man, Ike. That is how delicious they are. So thanks to Ike for being our title sponsor, being a great friend, making a great sandwich. That's what I'm talking about. And thanks again to everybody at the Dubliner for hosting us for Pluce Mania. It was fantastic. We had a great time. Thanks to Kenny. Thanks to John. Really appreciate you guys hosting us. And thanks again to everyone who came out. Not a single person who has had a few people were walking into the Dubliner West Portal for the very, very first time. Instantly, they're like, this place is awesome. This place speaks to me. This is my kind of bar. My kind of bar, too. It really is. Love the Dubliner and West Portal. It's my 5-year-old son's favorite bar at this particular time as well. It's the only bar that he's allowed in that Uncle Greg doesn't own, which is the Halfway Club, which is another great bar on Geneva, man. I'm going to do a commercial for my buddy at the Halfway Club out on Geneva, too, while I'm telling you about how great the Dubliner is. But I got friends who got great bars, and I love you both, and they're letting my 5-year-old into bars. So cheers, and let's see if we are at sip of the day status here. We are. That's sip of the day status. There's only one thing that could really improve upon said sip of the day status. Wouldn't you agree? Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Is it a little too early to drink? No, not on a Monday. Not at all. We're just going to put a little of that splashy splash into the coffee. Give that a little swirl. We're going to thank Erwin, who again is dropping off bottles of Michter bourbon on me at Pluce Mania. Oh, yeah. It's happy hour somewhere. Irish up that coffee, baby. Woo! Good stuff. Thank you, Erwin. Thanks to Ollie. That was the real sip of the day. There it is right there. Thank you very much. There he is, my man Erwin. Irish coffee. That is good. That was good. The crack brittle from Chef A. Indeed, Chef A. monitoring brittle deliciousness and bottle pulls. Let me tell you what's so good about Chef A. I really mean it. You could sell this. You could quit your job as a chef and go into business for yourself. What is incredible about this brittle is I think it's like it's very brittle. This is gonna be really toothy and chewy. Let me tell you, it's so delicate. That's the difference between me making this or a real chef making it. This is so delicate. It looks like it would be a brick. It's the most delicate, flakiest, perfect. Oh, Chef A. Chef A, how am I supposed to get skinny with you in my life? Freaking delicious. There we go. I don't do a lot of eating on the air, but, you know, this one deserved it. JJ Rader says, Damon, you need a broken clock on the wall that says 5 o'clock. That would make it happy hour here for sure. JJ, sorry that we missed you. When I was on my way home and I was unpacking bags, this is the love that I get from my audience. Jillian's like, where's the weed? I'm like, well, JJ Rader didn't make it to this Pluce Mania, so the ganja jar will have to wait for JJ to make a contribution, should he ever choose so to do again at the next Pluce Mania I get. But JJ, bless you. Sorry that we missed you. It was great to see seltzer and a shot of tequila. My man Baron Red, now going by SF Indigo, came on in pretty lit to begin with and sat down and said, give me a seltzer and the cheapest tequila possible. And I said, my man is here to do some damage. Love it. It was great to see Stacy Leo. It was great to see Habes the Babe. It was great to have Leslie come on out. Oh, my God. I mean, we're meeting new people who have been, again, regulars over and over and over again in the chat room. To finally meet people for the first time, it's just fantastic. It really is. Of course, True Blue Forever was there properly. Thank you, True Blue. And my God, Smiley Dan kept us all safe. Let me say this, too, about the Dubliner. They sell a hot dog at a hot dog stand right in front of the Dubliner on Sundays called a Jungle Dog. Oh, my God, it was one of the 5 best hot dogs I've ever had in my life. Frickin' delicious. Chef A bought me the Jungle Dog, too. So Chef A brought me liquid weed. She brought me brittle. She bought me a hot dog. I'm telling you, you're my kind of people. God, love you. A little bit more sports, shall we? Because if you're a 49er fan, there's some good news that starts with today being the first padded day of practice. Ricky Pearsall is back in the room. Ricky Pearsall off the non-football injury list just in time for the first here we go padded practice of training camp. So it's good to see Ricky is out there getting some reps. Again, he's coming off of a hamstring issue from his non-football injury. I hope that that's behind him. I hope that that doesn't linger. Hamstrings are tricky things. So I hope there's no tricky Ricky hamstrings that we're monitoring all year. I certainly hope that that's behind him. And look, I'm not saying Brandon Ayuk is rooting against the guy in any way, shape, or form, but Ricky Pearsall coming in and having great training camp reps doesn't help the situation. Brandon Ayuk has created for himself. So there's something to keep an eye on for sure. Let's see. Football underway on and pop. Here we go.
Maximum football.
Yeah. Absolutely happen. Absolutely happening. So it's coming. It's coming. Football season around the corner. We will end today's show with a little countdown for you to let you know how quickly it's all going to arrive. The San Francisco Giants have swept the god-awful Colorado Rockies. They've actually got a 4-game winning streak. They're 2 games under 500. A day before the trade deadline, they're 3.5 out of the expanded to include average wild card situation. And look, the Giants are off this Monday after a doubleheader weekend. On Tuesday, we began the first, I would call it a Bay Bridge series, but it's not a series. It's a set. It's only 2 games. The A's on Tuesday are rolling into 24 Willie Mays Plaza to take on the Giants, and it is the final time the Bay Bridge series will take place on the San Francisco side of the Bay Bridge, because we all know that the A's are run by the worst owner in sports, and they're going to Sacramento for a reason that no one can really wrap their minds around or explain in any way that makes any sense. There will be a Bay Bridge series over in Oakland. I will not be going. I am done going to my final game of A's, and I went to like 4 different. This is the last game ever for the Oakland Raiders, and I've been to like 3 official. This is the last game ever for the A's, and I'm done. I'm done with last game ever A's. I'm done with John Fisher and caring. And I'm so sorry that this has happened to you glorious, wonderful A's fans who have been so thoroughly kicked in the nuts by ownership. It's time to mentally divorce yourself of that team. Root for the Giants. Why not? Take another team up, but it's time to officially lay the A's down. What a disgusting situation. But back to, the Giants. Because I've been catching a little flack here for saying that the Giants should sell. And don't let a whole bunch of false positives against the dreadful Rockies really change the approach at the trade deadline, or people are saying, Damon, man, you're such a pessimist. You're a pessimist for urging the team to sell. I actually think it's a little delusional to be a buyer given what I've seen. But look, here's what I really want the Giants to do. Move in a direction that officially points you in a direction. The Giants are always trying to have it both ways. And it feels like this is a franchise that travels by the centimeter. A few steps forward with any decision is followed by a few steps backwards with the follow-up decision, and there's just outside of the 107-win blip of a weird season, the Giants tread water. It's all they do. They just tread water. They go nowhere fast every single time I'm looking up. And I'm just saying, pick a direction. Quit traveling by centimeters. Have the guts to look your fan base in the eye and say, all right, we're kind of pretending that we're a contender here. We should really focus 2 years down the road and point all of our direction into acquiring as much young talent as we can with the right trades to make sure that we're ready to go with young talent, since we got a terrible farm system for the most part that doesn't produce nearly enough everyday major league talent. Go get some from other farm systems. You can never sign a free agent, so don't plan on building your team and getting better that way. Go in a direction that really points your team in a direction. Quit treading water. And again, I don't care if you're buying or selling, but do one with some vim and vigor. Don't just sit there and go, this is a marginal move. This is another little marginal move. This is a little marginal move. No, either go out and add Pete Alonso or Vladimir Guerrero Jr., or really think about selling off Blake Snell and Robbie Ray, who, by the way, will begin the Bay Bridge series. Think about moving Chapman. Think about moving Doval. Think about painful things that you might need to go through today that might rob you of a today that doesn't really actually exist for a better tomorrow. That's what I would do. You know, this team doesn't even have a good grasp on its own talent. It really doesn't. Like, Tyler Fitzgerald has been on a hot streak since the All-Star break. He has been phenomenal. You know, he's appearing on lists of home run consistency that have Barry Bonds on it, for goodness sakes. Like, the guy's been slugging it lately. And man, Tyler Fitzgerald looks like a baseball player. Where the fuck was he before the All-Star break? Where was he? How come this guy is like really impacting the season now and not the first 3 months of the year where you could have certainly used him? You know, look at what happened to Hayden Birdsong. Birdsong, he strikes out 12, the most strikeouts by a Giants rookie pitcher since Lincecum K'd a dozen in his rookie year. What happened to him? He gets sent right back to the minors so Farhan can tinker, move one guy into the bullpen who makes a debut and is immediately DFA'd. So now we go back to Hayden Birdsong, and instead of really feeling great about this incredible major league performance, he gets a bus ticket back to the minor leagues, only to get to the minor leagues to get another bus ticket to come back to the major leagues. Like, that's not a way to treat somebody. And that's the problem that Farhan has had time and time again. He treats guys, actual humans, like they're trading cards. Like there's no amount of emotion involved in any success in professional sports. Like Farhan is just too antiseptic to human nature to, I think, ever really truly be successful at this. He is not god-awful, but he is certainly not irreplaceable either. So, you know, good luck, Giants. I don't give a shit what you do. Either way, I really don't. Football's around the corner, so fuck off, baseball. Don't really need you anymore. But, you know, you can do something that feels big and probably not go anywhere because you're not built to have a big season. Or maybe the Giants will emerge as the most pitchinest in baseball, and Snell and Robbie Ray and Logan Webb and Kyle Harrison, just big dick every single lineup in Major League Baseball, and it's smooth sailing right to a World Series. Which do you think is more probable? Which do you think actually happens there? Like every single time the Giants go out on a baseball field and they see a Dodger uniform or a Phillies uniform, they get their asses handed to them. And those are the two teams that will be waiting for them in the postseason. So what else we got? Dun, 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 dun. I love the freaking Olympics. I love the Olympics. I want to talk about a little Olympics here. I hope you will stick around. I want to start with the opening ceremonies because we have not been on the air since that happened. What an exercise in American stupidity and misinterpretation that whole thing was. You know, Catholics are saying, oh, it was so insulting to us as Catholics because they made fun of what? The Last Supper? Which, by the way, is not photographic evidence. That's some guy's painting of something that he thinks happened that way. And also, it wasn't the Last Supper. There might have been a little Last Supper echo in there, but that was Bacchus. That was a Bacchanalia. That was an ancient Greek ceremony where the god of wine would basically show up, get everyone drunk, and fuck. And that's what the Greeks did. Now, I will say this. I live in San Francisco. The concept of being surrounded by gay doesn't bother me, obviously. But boy, as a guy who lives in San Francisco, let me tell you, there were elements of that opening ceremony that were definitely like, that was a little gay, more gay than I expected right there. But it's gay petty. I see these people say this is such an offense to me as an American. This country is not France. This is French. This is French culture. This is French. This is French doing things. Let the French be French. If you don't want to be French, good news. You don't have to be French. And if you're watching something that offends you, turn it off and shut up. Oh, the complaining. Oh, my God, you fucking pussies. It's just unbelievable to me. It's just, you have no right to an unoffended life. Well, it wouldn't be right if they were making fun of any other. Who cares? Who cares? You got to pick and choose things in life. Pick and choose things in life that are going to upset you or offend you or not. Let me tell you what falls into the category of things that are never, ever going to offend me again. Any discussion at all about a national anthem. I don't care anymore. You have ripped how I feel about that so far out of the things I care about. I don't care. I don't care about national anthems. I don't care about protests. I don't care about people taking knees. You can stand up. You can sit down. You can go to the bathroom. I don't give a shit. Another thing that's never going to bother me, like cause me to lose a wink of sleep at night? An Olympic opening ceremony. How fragile are you if you watch the Olympic opening ceremonies and feel rattled to the core of your soul? Don't go outside. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, to me, the most offensive thing at the opening ceremony was Kelly Clarkson. Look, I have no agenda against Kelly Clarkson. I don't care if she has good music, bad. She's a nice girl. I don't care. What I want is a broadcaster who knows the job. They took a woman who has no business on a global broadcast and put her on a global broadcast. Kelly Clarkson's entire broadcast consisted of, wow, that's neat. It was 4 hours of Kelly Clarkson going, wow. That's not helpful. And look, Peyton Manning wasn't much better. Peyton Manning was basically there to take every single thing that happens in an opening ceremony and somehow connect it and frame it through the prism of a football cliche. I mean, long gone are the days of Bob Costas and Matt Lauer and Bryant Gumbel and Katie Couric actually using an Olympic opening ceremony to talk about the world, countries, continents, regions, culture, nothing. It was, oh, look at them on a boat. Look at them on a boat. Doesn't Sha'Carri Richardson have a lot of fingernails? Look at them on a boat. Oh, it's another thing on a boat. And there was all these boats going by in the rain, unfortunately. And every 30 seconds, Mike Tirico was saying, well, normally during an Olympic opening ceremony, we'll tell you about a little bit more about the teams, the cultures, the regions, and all this stuff. But, we don't have the time with these boats going by so fast. And he said that so many times, they had countless time to learn a little bit more about the country. You know where we should start in terms of country education here in America? With a fucking map. How many people could even tell you where Spain is on a map? It takes nothing for the NBC geographical department to put up a little world map and then highlight the country you're talking about on the world map so people can see where it is. God forbid we use any moment of television to teach anybody anything. It was like the extremely dumbed down opening ceremonies. And having said all that, I kind of liked them. It was weird. It was very French. I love the Marie Antoinettes all in the window. I loved I loved all the French shit. I was surprised that they had a man, a woman, and we don't know what that is, like go into the room and close the door on the camera like they're all about to have a threesome. I thought that's a little spicy for family entertainment. But again, I'm not looking for the Olympics to raise my kids. You know, somebody said that there's a picture of a guy when he had like his nuts hanging out or something, or maybe it was just like a hole inside the stocking and it looked like the nuts were hanging out of his pants. I even put up a tweet about it and I was like, this is kind of funny. Someone's like, well, what would you do if your kid saw that? Let me tell you who would handle seeing another dude's nuts better than most adults in America. My 5-year-old son, Jack, would laugh at it. I would laugh at it. Ozzy's, about to turn 3. Maybe he's laughing at nuts. Probably don't even know what they are. Probably not even aware of his own nuts yet. Here's the thing. Balls are funny. Deal with them. I mean, seriously. So, Lady Gaga on the steps singing in French. She's good. She's good. People were worried about that being a little too gay. Look, it's Lady Gaga. She serves up gay on a cafeteria tray. That's what she does. Very, very flamboyant. You got a whole bunch of people waving pink feathers all over everywhere. It was fine. It's French. It's French. This is the worst representation of entertainment that America could. It's not American. God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So many people so easily offended. Meanwhile, the Olympics this Monday is going to give us Team USA, the ladies, taking the court against Japan. The men will be back on the court against South Sudan on Wednesday. So Olympic basketball coming up. Kevin Durant's opening half of the Olympics is like the best half of basketball you'll ever see in your entire life. Kevin Durant came off the bench and hit every single shot he took. Most of them were from 3. He was insanely locked in. Oh my God, he was spectacular. It's as good as anybody can play. The fact that LeBron James appears to play with, more youthful enthusiasm than anybody else on the court is amazing considering how old he is. Steve Kerr not playing Jason Tatum's got an awful lot of NBA fans doing their hand wringing. I even made can't believe that, Jason Tatum got the Moses Moody treatment out of Steve Kerr. But here's the thing. When you got a team of everybody here can play, I guess not everybody can play. Having said that, he should have absolutely flipped Tatum 5 minutes just to get him out there. And I think that Steve knows that. But I'll tell you, it's not that Tatum didn't play. It's that he keeps on starting Embiid. That's what I don't understand. You want to talk about the lineup thing that needs to change. Get Embiid off the court. I mean, did Jokic just hit another turnaround layup on him? I can't stand Joel Embiid. If he's not getting a parade to the free throw line, he's not half the player that you think he is. And they're not giving anyone free throw line parades in this Olympics. Good times. Thank you, Irwin, saying smash the like and subscribe buttons. Hey, smash the bourbon. Thank you very much again, Irwin. Got UC Steve saying the 2028 LA Olympics will have Kendrick Lamar singing They Not Like Us. Totally. Dress the entire team in red, let them all come out crip walking at the Coliseum or wherever the hell they're going to do it. That'd be fantastic. Patrick O'Byrne says, what does France have? A lot of awesome stuff. The first time I went to, it's like walking around in a museum before you even get to a museum. The whole country is a museum. It's spectacular. It's one of the only places that I've ever been that actually lived up to the hype. Patrick is saying, Damon, you get your full Irish breakfast. Yeah, now that we've fired up the coffee, we certainly have. Chef A, Smiley Dan is the shit. Isn't he great? I love Smiley Dan, man. That's my guy right there. Champ Ross saying, Damon, just missing the edibles delight. I don't do a lot of edibles. I'm like an old school guy. Again, I don't use PayPal. I use cash. I don't do a lot of edibles. I kind of, I'll just weed. What happened to JJ Ray? Someone's getting a whole bunch of JJ. Hope you feel better. Did I miss the text where he said here in the chat why he wasn't there yesterday? JJ, I hope you do feel better, brother. Hope you do feel better. Turbo Duran asks a very good question. What happens if Brock Purdy has a down year? That means he won't get paid big? No, he's got a big payday coming. He is, look at it this way. If he falls out of the MVP conversation, which he was in last year, he's still looking at a $50 million. Here's the thing. The NFL is assigning price points to positions, pretty much. And wide receivers are now making about 30, which used to be like left tackle money. Now they're still in that neighborhood. That used to be quarterback money. Now quarterback money, which by definition, has to be more than anyone else on the field. That's like a billionaire class unto itself. The quarterback position is coming in at $50 million. If you are a type of starter who is so entrenched where there isn't an injury that is going to player X as quarterback gets hurt. Here comes the backup quarterback. Player X no longer hurt. No matter how the backup quarterback did, you're right back to the starter. That's an entrenched starting quarterback in my mind. And all of those guys are making $50 million a year. A third of the league right now is above $43 million at the quarterback position. Joe Schmo just saying, hey, man, hey, Giants have no hope to win a show. Oh, I thought you were going to say they have hope. No hope, Joe Schmo, no hope. Again, I'm not going to go all the way to tell you no hope, but I certainly don't think that they're going to do it. No way. I will be gobsmacked level shocked if the Giants are involved in a token wild card appearance. JJ Rader's having his annual I got sick. That's what's going on. All right. There you go. So it's your annual sick week. Get it behind you. And you'll be good. Let's see. What else we got? Mario says Snell struck out 15 the other day. He was fantastic. If you think for a second that he's not going to opt back in after the end of this year, trade him. Trade him. Everybody with an opt-out clause that has a good year opts out. Everybody with an opt-out clause who has a disappointing year, they remain. What else we got going on here in the chat? I know this isn't like an official Club Pluce, but it was so good to see so many of you at Pluce Mania 4 that I just want to go through and say hello to everybody again here. Mark Graves says, fuck off, baseball would be a great t-shirt. I mean, you wouldn't want to wear it to a children's party. By the way, I was at a children's party this weekend. The Bubble Man was there. The Bubble Man it has these, like, all these fishing poles and creates huge bubbles. Like, he does the million bubbles. He does the huge, long bubble that is the size of a worm out of Dune. The guy's got bubble talent. And he should, because guess what? He charges $400 an hour. The Bubble Man. The Bubble Man is charging people like lawyers. $400 an hour? That's what a lawyer charges you, not the Bubble Man. Having kids is freaking expensive. Stacy Leo, so good to see you. See your son. Thanks for coming on out. Once again, Stacy Leo is dressed like a leprechaun into an Irish bar. Just dapper in her houndstooth, green-colored Bear Bryant hat. It was really awesome seeing you. Truly, truly awesome seeing you. What else we got going on here? What else we looking at? Oh, see, you know what? Joe Schmo reached the conclusion that was right. Paris is different Parents is definitely the rest of, I don't know. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have read that one. I don't know what you're saying there. But dude, it's Paris. Here you go, Joe Schmo. I think this is what you wanted. Paris is fun. Open a bottle of wine, baby. Seriously. You know what, Chef A? I am a bit of a basketball court snob. The simpler, the better. But I like the Olympic court. I like that it's not trying to pull like a 5-tone thing off. There's a little design inside of the 3-point line that is not intrusive. Yeah, they did. They did a nice job with the court. No problem there. Shogo McDougal just saying, look, what? By the way, great name, Shogo McDougal. That's the right approach, Damon. Who effing cares? Again, nobody has the right to an unoffended life. Michael Bradley says, tens of thousands of French Christians took to the street to protest. Are you so fragile you protest those who are offended? No, I am not fragile at all. My whole point is the rest of you seem to be. How about this? If you got in the line as a Catholic to protest the Olympics, but not the systematic reshuffling of priests who were sex abusers, get the fuck out of here. Like, as a Catholic, you had some real shit to protest at a time. But no, you probably didn't say anything when you knew that the Catholic Church was systematically moving priests who were pedophiles around different parishes, different regions, just playing a game of, a shell game of moving the pedophile to where you're going to have trouble finding him. If you weren't in the streets protesting that and you went out to protest the opening ceremonies, go fuck yourself, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm glad that I said it. Sporticus is saying, women's rugby is awesome. Let women show more physicality in sports. Saw some stiff arms that would make Derrick Henry go, wow. Yeah, I did see this woman. The highlight, I think somebody was like, hey, Kyle Brandt from NFL Network, does this qualify as an angry run? This woman on the U.S. rugby team steamrolled this other lady on the way to like a 45-yard touchdown or whatever it's called in rugby. I don't know. We got surfing in Tahiti. Good times. Good times. What else is going on? What else is going on? Chef A, again, Damon. Just think about it. Without balls, where would sports be? But bump. Genius. I think that's about it, folks. Smiley Dan, again, kept us all safe. Thank you very much, Smiley Dan. Rockin' New Era, Ernie. God, seeing so many of you guys, it was just fantastic. Thanks to all the guys and gals that came out. Joji, you got to eventually leave Japan and join us over here for Pluce Mania. Maybe we'll fly you in. Leonardo Cruz says, why are we talking about this? I just want to hear football. Well, if you go to the beginning of the show, you're going to get all the football that you need. And believe me, keep watching this space. Plenty of football will be coming your way. But whenever you see the little tag of live on one of my thumbnails, that means that show could go anywhere. And that's where we are. I hope very much you enjoyed this show going anywhere. I hope that you like and subscribe. I hope that you go ahead, think about hitting notify. I hope that you pop on into the Dubliner next time you're looking for a great little drink in West Portal. I hope you pop into my man Ike's the next time you're thinking about where you should go for lunch, for dinner. Get yourself to Ike's. And I hope you think about telling your friends about this channel, because once football season starts, we are going to hit the ground running this season. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. A really good time. And remember, you're really going to want to be around for some post-game and Damon, which will be back with a vengeance after every single 49er game. Did I say after? I believe we get going at the 2-minute warning. So an awful lot coming up. Again, thanks to Kruger for coming out. We will be back shortly with some wake-ups. There could even be a late-night wake-up after dark this evening. Still waiting to hear back from Larry on that one since we were unable to do the wake up this morning because he went down to training camp. Again, Larry loves cover and practice. Me, not so much. But man, you're all just fantastic. Thanks so much for stopping on by. Thanks for being a crowd that doesn't get easily offended. Those are my kind of people right there. I do not like those who are easily offended. And for those of you who know sometimes the right thing to do is just, turn it off if you don't like it. You're my kind of people. So I hope you liked the show. And if you didn't, you can just turn it off. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn the show off right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to you podcasters out there. Thank you for viewing. If you're over here on YouTube, you are my kind of folks. Please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's